Peace and love to all the kings and queens. You are listening to the Make Jazz Trill Again podcast. I am your host, Melanie Charles, aka Dflower.
And I'm your co-host, Yunie Mojica, aka YunieMo.
Yes, we're back.
Hey, woo!
Have you guys missed us?
I missed us.
I missed you. Too. I missed you too.
In a good way.
Yeah.
In the best way.
Of course. Well, when is missing someone ever in a bad way?
I've been come across people who are saying I miss you is a negative thing. So I'm
really
conscious of it, how it makes people feel.
Okay.
So there's not guilt associated with it. It's like, no, I miss you because I love you. It's not because I'm mad at you or anything because I'm not seeing you. So
you know what, Yunie? That is a really very good nuance that you speak of here. It's true. So people be mad when you don't have time to see them. It's like, boo.
No, that I know you know.
Yes.
I know you know what I'm talking about. And
I definitely
it
do.
only comes from, some might say it's the Libra in me, but I say it's just out of experience.
Yeah, you do know. You do understand the nuances, especially of us Pisces. We talk about this all the time. You really know how to deal with the Pisces.
You know, and it makes me think of your song, Don't Be Offended If I Leave You on Red. I need time for myself.
I just need some time. Speaking of time for myself, I am fresh off of an amazing vacation in Tulum, Mexico.
Ooh,
yes.
How was it?
It was great, Yunie. You know, first of all, by the way, everyone who's listening, we've been trying to think about themes for our episodes to kind of make them a little bit more concise and maybe make space for deeper conversation, especially for the episodes where it's just Yunie and I catching up.
Yeah.
And this week's episode theme is attitude of gratitude. And of course, it's Thanksgiving season, it's holiday season, so this is the time when we do talk about gratitude, but what I have come to really understand is that we should always be in a space of gratitude.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. It just makes life better, easier, copable, humbling, and just makes you be present and aware.
Yeah. So, jumping right in with the spirit of gratitude, I am so grateful to have been able to afford to go on this vacation. I'm grateful to have found some time to go on this vacation. And y'all, this vacation was very eventful. Okay. My second day arriving to Tulum, I didn't tell my mom this because I didn't want her to panic. So now she's been listening to our episode. So Mom, I'm fine. Clearly, I'm fine.
She's like, why am I hearing about your life from your podcast?
I only in the family, I talk to you, Yunie, but other than that, I really just talked to my brother while I was out there and I was telling him about the craziness. But the second day in Tulum, where I was staying at was a beautiful hotel in this area called Aldea Zama, which is kind of 10 minutes away from the beach town where all the hotels are. So it's a developing part of town and really beautiful and new. Anyway, so it was a hotel that also has certain rooms at the Airbnb and certain apartments that people rent out as apartments. So there's a couple different things happening in this really beautiful space. And so they have bicycle rentals, scooter rentals. So I'm like, okay, let me rent my bike because I'm a biker girl. I'll be biking all over New York or whatever.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
If you can bike in New York, you can bike anywhere.
You know what I'm saying? So I rented a bike the first day, second day, third day, the bikes were all out. And they were like, okay, well, we have scooters. You can use a scooter. So I was like, okay, let me try a scooter. Now, I've ridden Revels in the States all the time. And that's a scooter, right? Do we all agree?
I thought. That was my idea of what a scooter is.
Right. Now, the Revels, they have this thing where they kind of automatically stop if you start going a little too fast. There's a trigger thing that happens. So you never can really go out of control with those things, as far as my experience been riding those things. Anyway, y'all, so the lady's like, yeah, here's a scooter. Da, da, da. It's kind of different. It's different than what I'm used to. So she's trying to show me how to use the brake and the da 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 da, and I'm just in front of the hotel, and it's kind of like a cul-de-sac, I guess you can say. So it's like the outside is like, it's like right, the hotel's, it's like right there, like in
like
that
right
front.
when they pull in, and it's kind of like a roundabout-ish.
Right.
Type
So I'm
of thing.
right in that area right there in the front. And I'm like stopping, starting, and I'm like, nah, this isn't gonna work. So I attempt to pull over into like the little parking area, park it, and be like, I'll just walk to the beach, child. It ain't gonna work out. When I go to press the brake, the scooter revs into a tree and totally crashes the damn thing. Totally totaled. Y'all. Totaled it. Like, I should have taken a picture, but I'm so not a like photo person like that. Like when things happen, I was just panicking. And
oh my God, Mel.
That's the first step. That's the first thing that I want to say about gratitude today is like, I'm so grateful to have survived that, because the bike didn't stand a chance. I don't know how, like, if
that
you saw the bike,
scary.
Listen,
I remember when you reached out to me about that.
You know,
like, what?
And you know, the second piece of gratitude that I have to express today is my gratitude to you, Yunie. You are such an incredible friend. Like, you always know what to say, especially me as someone that kind of catastrophizes. I'm working on it, but like a lot of things are like the end of the world for me. You know what I mean? And you've always been so like level-headed and just know the right thing. Never judgmental, always patient, always like with how about this? A fresh idea, a peaceful idea. And in that moment, you were such a blessing to me on my little vacation in Tulum. So thank you so much, Yunie. I love you. You're the best.
I love you too. I just know how important this vacation was for you, and as your friend, I wanted you to enjoy every moment that you possibly could. And the fact that it was early in the vacation and you're there by yourself, and I just wanted you to feel a big warm hug from far away and be like, girl, you got to brush this off. Whatever I could do to think of to be like, yo, help you brush this off and just breathe and really be able to be present in the space that you were meant to be at and you had to be at, and it was so important for how hard you work. And it's so hard for musicians to go and have a vacation. Yeah, I mean, we really don't do it because it's not right.
I mean, we travel all the time for work. So I think we're always like, why am I going to go travel? I'm always traveling, you know what I mean? But it's different.
It's totally different. It's totally different. I cannot emphasize that enough, where people kind of think, and even I thought when I was a musician in college, tour is gonna be so dope, and you get to travel the world and do all this, and it's gonna be amazing. And it is there's the parts that are amazing, but it's only it's the stage that's amazing. And there's stages all around the world, and it's reaching your fans and playing music for the people. But everything that leads up to get there takes a lot of hard work, and it can be very taxing on your body. And it's like, imagine if, for those of you who have never experienced what working traveling and working, not even just from a musician standpoint, because there's a lot of people out there that travel and work, travel for work. It's nothing like vacation. Imagine all the things that you do at your job, but you can never do it at home. You can never do it in within a 10-mile radius. Because when you think about it like that, then you have an idea of what people that work outside of a 9 to 5 or just or work within their hemisphere, 10-mile radius, like I just said, you start to understand why you choose to not make your commute an hour. And you see how much even that choice is taxing. Can be taxing on you, and you're like, oh wow, this is a lot of me. I don't want to live more than an hour away from my job.
Imagine you have to hop on a plane to get to your job.
Exactly. And
it's too much, but we do it. It's interesting. I was watching something. So I don't know if you guys are, I'm into the tea about Judge Mathis, how his wife filed for divorce.
What?
Did you hear about
no,
this?
I didn't.
Yes, Judge Mathis' wife
I should have laughed. What?
No, well, you can laugh because, okay, so TMZ stopped him in the street after they announced that, and they were like, so, like, your wife filed for divorce, are you okay? And he was like, I'm going to get my wife. I know exactly what I did wrong, and I'm going to get my wife. Well, this week it was reported that he, in fact, did get his wife back.
Wow.
Yes, they canceled the process of the divorce, and I was watching.
Beautiful.
Right, shout out to Black Love. I think his wife's name is
Yay.
Linda, and she was right next to him, and she was smiling, and you could tell that they reconciled. He said that the main issue in their relationship was that he was traveling so much, and he was never home, and she was like, "Listen, I need you to be here. Like, if you're not going to be here, I'm out." And she went all the way to the step of doing the divorce, and he got his act together. But I was watching this talk show today. Who's the talk show lady who replaced Wendy Williams? She's
Replaced?
a comedian. Yeah, replaced her slot.
Not
Man,
dang.
Cheryl.
Let me use the Googles.
Right.
I'm not ashamed.
Ooh. Oh man, I think it's Sherry.
Oh, Sherry Shepherd.
Sherry Shepherd, yes. So I think it's been 2 years now, her show. In any case, so she was cracking jokes. She was like, she reported on the Judge Mathis thing, but in the TMZ footage of him being like, yeah, I got my wife, and now he said, I'm on a mission to bring back Black love, something like that. And Sherry was like, don't now hold up, Judge Mathis, you on a mission. Mission means that's work that you do that involves travel, and your wife said she needs you to be home. So she was like,
be on your own mission, to tend to your own home before you get involved with everybody else, and then you back at square one.
And it had me thinking about us musicians, that we are on a mission to spread this good news, to spread this music. That's what music is. A kind of performance is kind of missionary work in a sense, so everything always goes back to music and art.
It does. And music is multifaceted in so many ways. Multifaceted in the message.
Yeah.
Because it could be secular, it could be non-secular, it could be about the party, it could be about gathering for peace, and it could be about shaking your booty, or it could be for sitting and listening. So there's so many. Music is not a monolith.
Yeah.
And neither are we.
And the fact that in order to have a good living and to have the most reach, you gotta travel, so how do we make peace with that part of it? I'm realizing now that I need to insert, and I think I've mentioned this in past episodes, insert moments of rest and retreat, even if it's not a long 10 days like I just did, even if it's 2 days, even just 1 day, like when we had our little spa day, Yunie, like that revived me.
We need another one.
Next one is my treat. Okay, we're gonna do the next one. Okay,
yay, I love it.
Yes.
No, you're absolutely right. It's once you learn how to do that, you know how to protect your schedule, protect your peace, know when to turn on your emails, when to turn them off. You have to be hyper aware, because nobody's gonna do that for you.
No.
At all. You got to do it for yourself. So you have to. I was talking with a friend of mine. I'm not going to disclose their name because I know they're private, but I told them, and they're a well-known musician that travels a lot and does everything themselves. And I told them, like, please, and it was after the election, and very sensitive time for all of us that did not vote for the orange one.
Yeah.
And I told them, especially after this, in the next 4 years, you better promise me that, especially in the next year, but if you can't do it in the next year, promise me that you're going to schedule a vacation for yourself.
as a friend, it's so beautiful that you're doing that to your friend.
Have to.
Yeah.
I'm not saying let's plan. I'm not like let's plan a vacation together. No. For yourself, whether that's with your partner or by yourself, if that's how you prefer to travel, whatever form of peace. If it's with your mom or your dad or your cousin or family member or brother or sister, whatever that means, you have to take that time out because you have to reset. Otherwise, you're going to go about the world and then you're going to your heart's going to turn bitter. The last thing you want to do in this industry is turn bitter. The last thing you want to do when it comes to love is turn bitter. Nobody wants to be around that. Nobody wants to work around that. And so you have to work very, very hard and part of that is gratitude. Gratitude and being able to carve out time to know how to refill your battery, the pack that's going to allow you to show up with a smile on your face and not in a fake way. Show up in a way where you can support and yourself, support the people around you, support your band, to write your music, to have the energy to show up to a photo shoot or even schedule those things. I don't know, I'm just kind of spitballing here.
Absolutely.
But all that stuff is very important because you have to have a level of excitement for these things and freshness in order for the music to evolve and grow and you to grow in your sound and in your artistry. And it all stems from that and how you take care of yourself.
I think that's really, really beautifully well put, Yunie. Especially, I really connect with the piece about you don't want to be bitter in this industry because we all have, musician friends, people that we look up to when we were coming up, and even now, even in our big age, people that are maybe ahead of us or have been around longer. We all know at least one bitter cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and one thing I hate to see, I'm sorry to
No, please go.
One thing that upsets me is when people go on rants online about the industry when it comes to lack of gigs, when it comes to lack of plays and buys of their music, and how come nobody's playing me, or I know I have to do this but I don't want to, and that's I strongly urge, if you're someone that does that or has done it in the past and you're listening to this, please don't do that anymore. Please.
I don't know why I'm laughing. I don't know why that's funny to me, Yunie.
Stop. Just
you said if this is you, please stop doing that.
I want to book you. Sorry.
I mean, but it's funny and it's sad. It's complicated.
It is. Do it in a safe space. It's fine. It's totally. I'm not saying don't complain about it because you got to get it out and you have to say what you have to say. But do it in a safe space. Don't do it for the world to see.
That's true. It's so hard because social media creates an illusion that it's a good space to share certain things, even like our girl Ari Lennox. I feel like we talk about Ari Lennox kind of a lot in this podcast. I love Ari Lennox, but even her, she has recently expressed that she feels like she has overshared, about her mental health or whatever, and that she wishes that hasn't become her identity. Because like if you're complaining about gigs or complaining about whatever, now that's mental health is a different thing. I think demystifying the conversation around mental health is really important, and I appreciate her being what's the word? I appreciate her being transparent, honest about it. But I feel you, like when it comes to ranting about things, or it's hard. I don't want to sound like we're policing how people are expressing themselves, because your social media, your choice. Okay. So you're like, I think for you as maybe in the space of like curation and booking and like maybe it reads different. It has more weight for you.
It reads in a certain way, and I understand the woes and the things that suck to do, and the things that the fact that some people may get more favor than others, but there's always more behind the curtain. And I feel like if you're gonna say those things, why not do something about it? Do something. or if you see that someone that you think that you should be in the space that they're in, I don't know, talk to them instead of talking crap about people, or subliminally talking about things. You know, I don't know. When it comes to stuff about like the industry,
yeah,
I kind of get a little like annoyed. But when it comes to racial inequities, then yeah, I do want people to talk about that. When it comes to you know, fair pay, I do want people to talk about that.
So you're talking specifically like when people are expressing, like comparing themselves to other people or feeling a kind of way that other people have certain opportunities.
Yeah.
That's kind of like in poor taste, you're saying.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's very interesting because, you know, I've been guilty of that, you know, of like on social media, whether it's disappointment of like not getting on the ballot for the Grammys, or you know, disappointment with the label that I was signed with, and feeling like I want my community to like know this, because sometimes people, you know, would think that. No, I can pause because I want to hear what you have to say about that.
I think it was great for you to talk about the issues that you had with your previous label. I think that's important because, especially since your album had a very specific message.
Okay.
And your album is ingrained in history now. And the fact that they're no longer your label is unfortunately proving a point. And I think that to me is not in poor taste.
Okay. But I could see how maybe other labels might feel that it is. You know what I mean? So, you know, at this point though, because I've had to like live with the fact that I've done that, right? Let's say, and people will be watching. Like, if you tweet about stuff, I've like tweeted about stuff, and then like people in my team be like, "What you talking about?" And I'm like, "Damn, I was just talking. That wasn't for you to," but people are always watching.
Yeah,
you know, and
true.
so I think that when it comes to, let's say, the label thing, after being signed to a label and knowing, and we all know the woes of getting signed to a label.
Yeah.
Especially like jazz, where it's like the least funded, you know, of all the different genres. Once you get signed, it's hard. So we all know it's nothing new, the experience that I had. But where I've landed is that the next label that I work with, they need to be 100% behind me, so much so that me expressing the wrongdoings of the previous label will not weigh against me. But if anything, they will be like, you know what, we're sorry you had that experience there, but here, this is how we're going to do better.
Yeah.
You know, I would like to think that that's what it would be like.
Yeah. Or your voice, you have an idea and you want to do something. They're like, well, we support your creativity in whatever way that means. We're just going to guide you in terms of how we're going to strategize. What's the plan? Let's strategy together.
Yes.
Because the whole point we are uplifting you as the artist, and we want to record you and sell your records and do it together.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, right?
In an ideal world, that's what we would like to manifest. But I think that it's possible with clarity and with the attitude of gratitude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we can find we meaning everyone who's listening, you know, artists, musicians, creatives, you know, and they're on their fourth, you know, all the things. We can manifest the type of realities we want, even the things that are like, well, that never really happens, or that's kind of impossible.
Yeah,
it's possible.
It is possible. And I know we do have some listeners that aren't musicians and that work on a lot of the side that I work on, in terms of like being a curator, a selector, from like DJs to other bookers and things like that. And I think that if you happen to work for an organization, don't let that organization or company be your identity. And I think that it's really important for people to do projects outside of work, outside of just having one job. I guess maybe that's the Caribbean girl in me, having like 5 jobs.
We be hustling. The Caribbeans, we be hustling, child.
You know? No, I think that's so important, because anything from the pandemic, we at least learned that anything can happen. So if your main gig were to leave today or tomorrow, you have other things in your bag that you can rely on to find other work and lead you to the next space. You know, I read something online the other day that said, don't let a closed door, don't try to open a door that's closed when there's nothing behind it.
But how do you know there's nothing behind it?
Because it already closed.
Oh, like a door. Okay,
a door that's already closed.
Okay.
And you know it's closed. Ooh. Don't try to open that door again when you know that there's nothing behind it.
Ooh,
gotta.
I love that.
You know,
I love that.
It's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. I mean, I'm curious for you, Yunie, like, attitude of gratitude. What is jumping out to you that you're feeling grateful for?
Man, I am, even though I just went on a whole rant about having, you know, multiple things outside of a job, I am thankful for where I've landed. So many opportunities and new life has sprung up from the opportunity to work at Summer Stage, and I can't thank Erica Elliott enough.
We love you, Erica.
I love her.
Best. Yeah, she's awesome.
No, I tell her all the time, like, girl, you saved my life. You don't even know. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, girl, you don't know. So no, like, there were reasons this past week that I saw some changes that had happened in a previous job that I was in that I noticed. I was like, whoa. Thankful I'm here. So there's that, you know, that I'm very gracious, and how we work together as a team. It's really amazing. I've learned that even when I was at Jessica Center, our team was really great too. Right. And the most important thing to me in environments that I work in is enjoying the people that I work with. Yeah, it's true. We could be working for, it's not always about, I've learned that it's not always about the thing that you're working for or towards. Yeah. Because you could have a dream to, I don't know, you could have a dream to have a zoo. Let's just, arbitrary thing. Okay. Have a dream to have a zoo. And you have a zoo, but everybody you're working with sucks. But you're having your dream, right? Doesn't make it fun. But you have a zoo, and everybody around you rock with, and you work, and you have a flow, and then it's enjoyable. So you could be in your dream job and completely hate it because the environment is toxic or the environment sucks. And it really is about the people that I work with. Yeah, is the most rewarding thing, and it allows for creativity. It allows for space for people to feel like there's growth, and just becoming the best version of you in work, because you do want that. So, and then you can translate that to your band. That's the other thing that I'm gracious for. And in working on music in the past couple years, I'm really grateful for the performing opportunities that I've been able to have. Just being able to play with my brother, amazing. Being able to sing next to Chanel has changed my life a lot. And I got a shout out to GBD, who's the second DJ that's in the Sonic Messengers Collective. Our Trill Mega Jams, being a part of that has opened up so much music and more people, and then working towards bringing back my own band, and just realizing, like, to go back to what I was saying, like, the people that you work around, your band.
Yeah, that's your coworkers.
That is your coworkers right
team.
There. That's your team.
Yeah.
And and when from coming up from school to now, figuring out who is actually in support of you, just playing with you just for a check, or playing with you because for whatever reason outside of they believe in your music and they believe in you, and they want to support that and want to be a part of that and put their voice in on the bandstand together collectively. So that's where my gratitude is.
I love that
today.
Yunie. I love I connect with the idea of hiring or playing with musicians as like hired guns versus playing with musicians that are your friends first, kind of. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we get to experience the latter often. I think a lot of times you're like, I need a bass player, let me call this guy, you know what I mean? Or we're going to perform this music and I know that this drummer is the best drummer for the gig. So, and then you probably become friends during that transaction and working together. But I think of like, even like from like developmental years, like bands that formed like in high school or in college, and that like continue on, like how amazing those bands are. Like I think of like Odd Future or like what's the band? I don't know if that's their reality, but
The Internet.
That's Why I Love the Moon. Phony People.
Oh, Phony People. Because it's funny, I was even thinking like Snarky Puppy maybe, or those guys. Oh,
yeah, I don't know. I imagine that maybe that's not their stories, but something about the way they move, it's giving, they're friends first. You know what I mean? And
yeah, the Internet is very much like the extension of Odd Future,
right? It's like squad first, and then we do this cool thing together, but at the core we really like each other. I have a list of gratitudes today because in this season I'm also really grateful for my friendships and a new project that's coming out with Ignabu and Paul Wilson Bay.
December 5th?
Yes, December 5th. We're going to be at LPR. We're doing a double bill with Marquise Hill. And I'm really excited.
That's gonna be fire.
Yeah, like I don't know if anyone who's followed my musical journey, there was like 6-7 years where I played exclusively with Ignabu. And then, I went a different direction sonically, so I put together a different band, and we kind of stopped playing for a while. And we recorded this project before the pandemic. We never thought we would release it, and then somehow it came back up, and we were like, we need to put this project out. And this week we had our first rehearsal together, and we were like, I love you. It was just like a love fest, And it's back to like my Dflower roots. It's like really sample based. It's like it feels really free and really safe, and I'm really excited about the possibilities of that. But this dynamic could only happen because they my brothers, they my boys, so
that part right there, feeling safe in the music.
Yes,
that's so rich. That's what I've realized is when you want to go higher in the music, you have to feel safe.
Yeah, you have to feel safe. Yes. And sometimes what gives you that safety is practice.
Yes. Yes.
Bro, and I know I don't practice enough on flute. Like, I always talk about that.
Listen, I always feel like I gotta practice more on the saxophone. That'll never go away.
You know what I mean?
Ever.
But I like know certain cats that they'd be like like they would just be blowing, and they feel, you could tell that they feel a sense of safety, and that's because they do what they give themselves the time to shed, so that when it's time to go into war, you know what I mean, if you will, that they're feeling safe.
Yeah, so much is required of them too, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember sitting in master classes in school, and everybody would say, every single master class, the most popular thing said, you know, it reminds me of, you ever see the People Gallery videos online?
The People Gallery,
it's a page, it's like a fashion page. And he asks everybody, what's your favorite meal? Like, if you could give anybody fashion advice, what would you say? And everyone's like, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. And this is one of those be yourself things that they said in every masterclass was, practice now while you're in school, while you have the time, because when you get out of school, you're not going to have it. Here we are. Everybody said it for a reason.
I wish I listened more to that. I wish I did more. I wish I practiced more. I did okay. I feel like when it comes to putting time, I think I put more time vocally. I wish I put more time on the flute, I guess is what I'm saying. And then, you know, it's hard to, you know, do it all, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's never too late to shed.
It's never too late.
Going back to Sonny Rollins, that man was already killing, and then he was like, I gotta disappear and shed, you know what I mean? So it's never too late to put that time and put the work in.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny, you also reminded me of, you know, when we're talking about playing with people that we feel safe with. It reminds me of of this controversy of not having enough women in your band, or, you know, diverse bands that aren't all white, or bands that aren't all black, or whatever. It's constantly a topic that gets brought up, or something that you always see. Like, a lot of times I'll see an all women band, and they're always all white women, and you don't see very few to little to none black women in there. So it reminds me, that kind of popped in my brain a little bit, because we play with our homies. And while a lot of organizations and curators push people to play together from different places and spaces and different personalities, and come from different areas and grow up differently, try to piece together bands that show diversity, and which then gives to the point of like, this isn't authentic, but people want to see it.
You touching on something, Yunie. I never really even thought about that in the discussion of, we need more women in this space. We need more different, diversity culturally. Like, that is beautiful and really important. And I think it is part of like the American experience, is the diversity. It's the melting pot. But there needs to be a consideration of, we play with who we're around, who we're connected with, oftentimes. And when especially when curators like try to like force a curation,
happens a lot. I've been in rooms where people are like, let's put together so and so and so and so, and have them like play together. And I've interjected sometimes, and be like, actually, I know them and they don't actually like each other, so that's not really a good idea.
You're killing me today.
Or sometimes it's like they've never met and they've always wanted to meet and they've always wanted to play together, and it's great, and it comes out great. Right. But then sometimes it's just like, these Frankenstein bands aren't always a good choice.
Oh, I like that term, Frankenstein band. Is that a term that people use? Did you just make that up?
No, I've heard people say it before. That's great.
I like it.
Because you're like, this heart, this arm, this.
Yeah, that's deep.
But then I've seen people become friends and play for the next 20 years together from it. So like, there's good in that curation.
There's potential for good in that.
A lot of potential for good. Or a young person will play with their longtime idol for the first time because of it, and they never would have been able to have that opportunity to play the music of such and such.
Yeah.
So it's...
Well, you mentioned the word idol, and we meant to open up with this, but the past 2 weeks we've suffered some very, very, very deep, huge losses. Maestro Quincy Jones and Maestro Roy Haynes both have entered into the heavenly plane, and I think we all collectively actually just felt gratitude for what they both have done for the music.
Yeah,
like
big time. I also gotta throw in the 2 others that we lost recent as well. That's Benny Golson,
right,
and Lou Donaldson.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I think I missed that Lou Donaldson pass.
Yeah, that one kind of slid under the radar a little bit, but our saxophone giants that have been here for so long that when they leave us, not just saxophone, our jazz giants, when they leave us, while it's sad because of the timing too. Like there's we're taking L's at the end of 2024.
We're taking a lot of L's at the end of 2024.
Taking a lot of L's, and we're like, come on. And it would have been great to see Roy Haynes celebrate his 100th birthday in person. We're celebrating all these centennials.
Yeah.
And it would have been very special to see that, to witness that, even if you're not there, just to know that he was able to do that is something that would have been impactful.
Yeah.
And these musicians have given us so much and dedicated their entire lives all the way up until their last breath.
All the way up to the last breath. Someone said on Twitter, I can't remember who it was, but he had me dying. He said, so you mean to tell me everybody met Quincy Jones and everybody had a special moment with Quincy Jones? Because everyone posted a photo with Quincy Jones. He was like, so you mean to tell me?
I did not have it. I never met Quincy Jones, and if I did, I would have posted it too.
And I'm normally like, everyone posting, like, I feel like sometimes when people do that, it makes it about them a little bit. But I think in the case of Quincy Jones, it was proof of how much he cared, because you can tell that he was so present with everyone he met. Like when I met him, it was at a show, I think it was at Guantanamera, and it was I don't know why I'm blanking out today. It was Pedrito.
Oh yeah, he had that residence.
Yes. And Quincy Jones was just chilling in the corner by himself, I think. And this was when I think Berry Gordy, they had a play on Broadway about Berry Gordy and Quincy Jones. There was some kind of Broadway thing going on. Anyway, and it was a little they threw a little shade to Quincy, or there was some weird, and I went up to him on some, me, I be messing around. I was like, I was just talking some junk. I was like, right, Quincy? And he was like, yes, exactly. And then we just like laughed and kikied, and like my friend captured those moments and that moment, and you can see that we had a connection. It wasn't really musically. He never heard me sing, and I really regret that we never had that opportunity, but I got to connect with him in a really human way, and I'm so grateful for that. And I know many musicians have that same experience, so thank you, Quincy Jones, for like being like all our like uncles. That was
Unc.
Yeah,
he's the Snoop Dogg of jazz.
He's exactly.
Well, of course there's more impact. Of course. But like, that persona that Snoop has, that like, I'm everywhere. Yeah. And I will do everything.
Yeah. And I'll see you, and I see you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We felt seen by him. I also, Roy Haynes, I never met him, but I'm good friends with Marcus, his grandson, Marcus Gilmore, and
talented.
I can only imagine how Marcus is feeling. I sent him a text, but I know that was his main man. You know what I mean? So
of course,
let's lift him up in prayer, and the whole family, Lou Donaldson's family, and Benny Golson's family.
It's out on the West Coast.
And you know, what I like about our podcast, I feel like every episode we kind of talk a little bit about an OG, an elder. And you know, it's very easy to forget the elders, you know, and they've done so much for us. Like, I think we have to really be intentional about like honoring them and shouting them out. You know, it's almost time for us to wind down, but I also want to alert our listeners that Reggie Workman is trying to fund a documentary film right now. Yes. And you know,
is there a GoFundMe?
There is a GoFundMe. If you go to his Instagram page, you can find the link to that.
I'll put it in the description. Just find, it's going to be in our our description. Click on it. Donate. Support Reggie Workman. He is one of the last living legends of our community. Yes. And he's here. He's giving us everything. He's constantly teaching the youth.
Constantly.
Always.
The name of the work is Immortal, the Musical Crusade of Reggie Workman. And just to make a correction, it's an Indiegogo, not a GoFundMe.
Indiegogo.
Yeah. So yes, please guys, click that link. Please support. I want to see this film.
I want to see if this film made.
You know what I'm saying? So this was a fun episode. Yes. We hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with us.
Follow, like, subscribe, share. Put someone on to our podcast.
Yes, share it. You know, share it.
We have a good time.
Yeah. And, you know, I guess before we sign out, what are you guys grateful for? What is in your attitude of gratitude? You can share it on our Instagram comments, on our YouTube video. In the comments, let us know what you're grateful for in this season. All right. Well, I think it's time to sign out.
Whatever you do,
remember to
make jazz trill again.